Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I have recently had some requests for help on the homework. So I've got a problem with our homework here. It's the first one on the assignment. If you already got the first one, that's okay. The ideas I'm going to go over for this problem should help you with all the rest of the problems together. So here's the information we need. Joe works between 15 and 35 hours, and the important formula here is that his salary is equal to 7 times the number of hours he works. Now, I've got my graph set up here, and I've gone ahead and marked it 5, 15, 25, 35, and for the y value, I'm going up by 20s for reasons that I think will become apparent in a moment. So the first thing I need to do is I need to decide which value goes on the bottom and which value goes up the side. Is it going to be the hours or the salary? These problems for this homework combine all the different ideas that we have worked on for the past 2 weeks. So the first one is domain and range. What do you know about domain and range? Well, domain is the number that we put in. It's the x values. So which one looks like the numbers we're putting into the equation, the h or the s? Well, remember, the number that we put in is the number that goes in the machine. The machine does something to that number. Well, which one of these variables is having something done to it? H is being multiplied by 7. So H turns out to be our domain value. In each of the problems that you work, you are looking for that input, and that is your domain, and that goes down here on the bottom. So we have hours down here. We know he works between 15 and 35 hours, so I need a maximum of 15 hours, and that's why I multiplied by 5 down here on the bottom. That means that the salary is going to go up top. And how much money will Joe make? Well, we follow our formula. We put our hours in there. We know Joe works for a minimum of 15 hours. So 15 multiplied by 7 is 105, I think. So when he works for 15 hours, his salary should be 105. So you can see now maybe why I've gone up by 20s here. There's about 105 at 15 hours. Okay. Now, what about his maximum value? Well, his maximum value is 35 hours. And if we multiply that by 7, he'll make $245 before taxes. But that's not what this video is about. So at 35, he's up to $245. We go up to 245, which is around this area here. And that's the maximum and minimum value. And we ask ourselves, now, is this continuous or discrete? Well, it is continuous if it exists for every x value between these 2 points. So he works for 15 hours. Could he possibly work for 20 hours? Yes, of course he could work for 20 hours. Could he work for 20 and a half hours? He could, sure. Boss can send him home after 20 and a half hours. Could he work for 20.1 hours? Sure, that does happen. I'm sure I've worked for 20.1 hours before. And in fact, any x value between here is possible because you can split hours up into whatever different segment you would like. So I'm going to draw this as a continuous line. It exists for every value between those points. So therefore, my domain, which is my x values, is right here. Here's my domain. It is between 15 and 35, and both those numbers are included. And the range is between, well, that's up and down. So I look, my smallest value here is 105. My largest value is 240. And there is our domain. There is our range. This is a continuous function, because it exists for every x value. It's not just a set of dots, it's a line on a graph. And there's your answer to number 1. The same ideas, the same concepts are used throughout the homework paper. So use those, do your best, good luck. I'll see you tomorrow. I believe in you. Get some sleep.